Okay, folks, we back in? Yeah, we're back in. You see, I had to switch my hats around because now I have to do something different. And we're going to look at the the phrase that we found in the argument that we made on behalf of Sister Fatima, where it talks about we make no distinction between any of the messengers. Do you have that verse before you? I don't know if I've jotted it down, but it was in the argument that we made for Sister Fatima. We make no distinction between any of the messengers, if you can remember it. If not, we'll just pull up we mentioned it, we talked about it, and we'll just pull up the bombshell. Don't have it. Uh, is there anybody out there listening? Tariq, are you listening there with us now? Do you have that, Shafiq?
Yes, I think it was 4150, Hamza. Was it 4150?
It might be 4150. Pull it up on
Yeah.
and see.
4150 sounds correct.
Hmm.
We'll look at it now in the book.
All right, let's pull it up on the screen. That sounds correct to me. There it is. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. 4150.
Those who disbelieve in Allah and His messengers and desire to make a distinction between Allah and His messengers and say, we believe in some and disbelieve in others and desire to take a course in between. Those who want to make a distinction between Allah and His messengers. Let's pull that up and see what we have on that distinction. In chat, yeah. Let's let chat tell us what that distinction is about. We already know. The verse says it for itself, but let's see the gravity of what's going on there. The verse says it. So let's see what goes on there with that.
Here is the isolated segment of our discussion on the principle of make no distinction, based on Quran 2, title, Make no distinction between the messengers, Quran 2, Bafudaithi. Core verse, the messenger believes in what has been revealed to him from his Lord, and so do the believers. They all believe in Allah and his angels and his books and his messengers. We make no distinction between any of his messengers. Muhammad Ali translates. Key arguments and logical conclusions. 1. Principle of bivalence applied. The verse makes a clear, unqualified, universal statement. We make no distinction between any of his messengers. This statement must be either true or false. If it is true, as affirmed by the Quran, then no prophet can be biologically, spiritually, or legislatively distinguished above the others. 2. Jesus cannot be biologically distinguished. Claims that Jesus had no father or was created by a different biological process directly contradict the command of 2:285. Such a claim makes a biological distinction, implying he is unlike the rest, which violates. Therefore, Jesus must have had a father like every other messenger. 3. Quran 6:833-88 confirms lineage. This passage lists 18 prophets, including Jesus, and says, and of their fathers and their descendants and their brethren. Jesus is grammatically included among fathers, Abaim, descendants, Zeritum, brethren. Thus, the Quran explicitly places Jesus within a genealogical lineage, proving he had a father and was created through procreation. 4. messengerhood requires humanity and procreation. All messengers were male, 1219, 1603, had families, were subject to human laws like eating, walking in markets. Therefore, any claim that makes Jesus an exception, e.g. not born through human procreation, makes a false distinction among messengers. R5. Conclusion. According to Quran 2285 and supported by Quran 683-88, no distinction can be made among the messengers. Jesus cannot be excluded from the biological lineage of mankind. The claim that he had no father is false based on the Quran alone.
Well, there you have it. That's a blockbuster. If you make a distinction and you say anyone, that Jesus had no father, you are violating that verse by making the distinction between the messengers. And Allah said, don't make any distinction between them. So if you say that Jesus had no father, anyone who says that from now until the day you stand before Allah, and from the time that Allah revealed his revelation to mankind, from then right until now, and until the day you stand before Allah, you have made the gravest sin ever. And this is why, with that sin, with that statement, Allah asked for the first time and the only time to make a mubahala, make a declaration of a curse be on the liar for that kind of situation. You made a distinction between the messengers. And I looked at that verse over and over again and never connected distinction with the birth of Jesus and him having a father or not. I just made a distinction on some local word, like I said, saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam, alayhi salam, whatever, that kind of thing. And we thought that that was it. So this is colossal. This is a nuclear weapon. And I have to thank Sister Fatima for having me look into this verse. First of all, like I said, we thank Allah for guiding us, guiding our thinking, and then putting it in the heart of Fatima to ask me to review this subject, which I've done it before, never picked up on this, and now this time writing word for word as I have to do. And I'm just obsessed with that. I saw those words and I said, wow, this sounds like something's there. And I went and looked, and lo and behold, anyone who says that Jesus did not have a biological father, lineage, and all of that is making the distinction, and that's wrong. So with that, we'll close out the subject. That'll be a situation by itself. We can shut that down, and then we'll reopen the lecture for question and answers. So let me just shut that down so you can go to that by itself. We'll name it by itself, and we'll open up in 1 second.